Talk D2C. My name is Sandy, and I'm coming to you live from Brazil. And I'm joined here by my friend and colleague, my homeboy, how you doing, Vince?
Doing great.
Good,
How about you,
good,
Sandy?
good. How are things there in Indonesia?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not struggling with any of the things that we are here in this coast, like fires and uh, trade wars, and I hear Jamaica's underwater right now. Indonesia's pretty safe right now, huh?
Well, we have our own problems, but not. I can find that not in that scale.
Yeah, good to know.
I think it also depends on your industry. Some also feel the effects of the trade wars that China and US is having, especially those in manufacturing.
Yeah. So a lot of things happening, a lot of opportunities, hate to put it that way, but again, everyone, welcome to Let's Talk D2C. And again, my name is Sandy. And here we talk about how you can create better relationships with your audience. And that means that you're having these one-on-one conversations with every single one of them. I know you can't speak to 1 million people per day, but we share with you how you can do that in that weeding out process and making sure that you're having conversations with people that are ready to talk to you. So again, we thank you so much for joining us today. We like to cover things about not local, but that's kind of the theme of today. But we cover more of the more recent e-commerce news. We have a lot of great stuff that we've been discovering. We want to share with you. But before we get there, we like to cover things usually, that is focused on D2C, but sometimes we go into things like what's going on with Facebook Libra. We will sometimes even talk about Amazon. Of course, we will talk about Shopify and things that are going on, especially with your absolute necessities when it comes to your social media platforms, and the keyword there is social media, where you can reach your audience and start engaging with them, having those conversations with them. So we like to dig into a lot of things. Then we dig into sharing with you some case studies. We'll do a demo bot of a case study, and that is going to be typically of something that we call shopkeep. So we do a critique of a certain type of e-commerce store, certain verticals, and then we share with you some things they could be doing better. And then we dump into how you and they can have those million conversations that you want per day in a way that is very efficient, very relationship building, and again, gets the people to the place where they are having those one-on-one conversations with you because they are ready. Anyways, so thank you again for joining us here at D2C Ecom. That's where you can find us on our Facebook page as well as on Instagram and various other places. Right now, we are simulcasting too. And eventually, that's going to also be in LinkedIn. So again, thank you for joining us here at Let's Talk D2C. Woo! I said a mouthful, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. So first things first, let's jump into what's happening. I don't think there's any other news that's really that we can focus on today in terms of Libra and Amazon and some other things. But you and I were able to dig up some really interesting things as we were kind of preparing for this
I think there is
moment.
good news, though, Sandy. The
Sorry?
messenger news. The news about the messenger platform changes.
Right.
Yeah, and
Do you want
I got to know it just after last week's live show. So we
Yeah.
couldn't really cover it last week, but we'll definitely get into it this week.
Okay. So do you have want to share that screen with us? Do you have
Yeah.
that?
This is
Is that ready?
I got it ready. Are you sharing? Can you share my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the messenger platform policy. Basically, the whole entire page is about the policy, and they released this, as I said, last week. And so, as you know, the messenger is still kind of something new that Facebook is doing. So it's constantly being developed. And this new policy update is going to be taken into effect on January 15th. But that's why we are covering it now so that you can you can prepare for what's gonna come, right? So there's a lot of things that's being covered here. So let's just cover the main points. Basically, it means that standard messaging is what you would be when you message people. Is called standard messaging, and basically what this means is that you can only message people 24 hours after their last interaction. Yeah. Last
Now,
time there are some other complicated rules, but they simplify it into this.
yeah.
Sorry, what was?
Now, before it used to be that you can have a subscription model here.
Yeah.
Now that is no longer going to be an option come January 15th, right?
There is, but it's under this subscription messaging, and it's strictly for news. So you actually have to register that you're actually a news page. Your Facebook page needs to be a news.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, it cannot like right now everybody's like abusing it for they're like using news, but they're still sending out like coupons or things that's definitely not news.
They're using it like an email campaign.
Yeah, exactly. So if we look through this entire article, basically, Facebook doesn't want the messenger platform to be like a place where you just spam offers after offers after offers.
Yeah.
They want it to be a communication platform.
Right.
So there are like outside this 24-hour window, there are only three cases, which is called a message tags, and there is one that is currently in beta. So technically, there will be four, and all four of these tags they are basically they're pretty much related to customer service, and you only have you can message them within seven days. So it's things like updating you on the on your orders, or what other things, like if there are any account updates. So it's basically all the customer service related, and everything outside of that you need to use sponsored messages, and sponsored messages is well, basically you need to pay Facebook to send out those broadcasts.
Basically, it's an ad. It's an ad that people have to place inside the manager for those to show up. So
yeah, but the good thing, the nice thing about this ad, it looks as if it's like a message, like your friend send you a message. It looks just like that.
Right. I think most of us have seen that already. You know, I know for me, until I started really traveling, and even when I was traveling over the last 4 years, Messenger was the only way my family could reach me, because when I moved around, I would have to get a SIM chip, and I only got the SIM chip so I can have data. And, you know, and that was, if my family wanted to reach me or anyone else, it was going to be inside of Messenger. So I'm a big user of Messenger, getting to be more of a big user here in Brazil with WhatsApp. But the point is we all know and use Messenger, and we have seen, if you haven't, but you should be seeing it, where these different ads, and just say right under that ad, it's sponsored, but it looks like a regular message from a friend.
So, no, but that's not what this thing is, though. That's not what this sponsored message is. This sponsored message goes directly into your inbox. It's as if I'm sending you a message.
Oh, it's different then. It's not.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay, that's different. So what I'm seeing right now inside of Messenger is I see my message, you know, who I've recently contacted, but then I see another little message there.
No, this is different.
Okay.
Yeah, this goes directly into you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although
you need to pay for it, it is still very powerful.
Oh, I see. So they're sending a message, like if someone's sending you a message, but it's still paid for though. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that would work really well with marketing and Messenger pixels, which we still are kind of investigating. Should have happened this month, right? Or last month. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you know, the whole thing that we do is trying to help you get people in your funnel, build those relationships. So the top of the funnel and middle of the funnel, we want to help you to perfect. The end of the funnel, Clearly, it's about that relationship that you built with them and making that sale. That's on you. But we help you with the top of the funnel, middle funnel processes and relationships again. So, okay, so just clarifying, the policy update is, give us a complete summary again. To summarize what the update is.
You can only message people 24 hours after their last interaction. So basically, whenever you send them a message, or even if it's a sponsored message, you want to get them to interact with you. It's like you are creating a relationship, we're creating conversation. So of course you want them to interact. And
right.
And there are only three tags, or 3 to 4. Later on there will be 4 tags where you can send messages outside of the 24-hour windows, and those are related to customer service. So in the article that it mentions more specifically on what are the cases, and then anything outside of that, use sponsored messages. Basically, that's a simple.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
They made everything. They made the part much simpler for everybody to understand.
Yeah.
Which is good for everyone, I guess.
Cool. All righty. So moving on briefly, quickly. Thanks for that, of course. This back to what's going on in the world of e-commerce. And this is from the fact that I've been listening to a lot of Gary Vee in the past week, just kind of reacclimate myself to, where my mindset should be. And this is one article that I came across that is really talking about the opportunities in the food industry for top brands, of course. And most of us are using one of these platforms for our e-commerce stores. And the point I want to make is that Gary, when he was talking one of his sessions that he was at, he was speaking at an event. I believe it was in Melbourne or someplace. But the point is that he said that you got to get to the place where someone can say, Alexa, order me some peanut butter. And that peanut butter is delivered to you. And he says, of course, if you're not very specific about what kind of peanut butter, Amazon's going to send you the peanut butter of their choice. So if you said, Alexa, send me some Jiffy peanut butter, then you're going to get the Jiffy brand. But here's the point.
Maybe it's going to be smart enough to ask.
Probably not. You're going to ask for some peanut butter or what was the other thing that we discovered here? Makeup. Yeah. Like people, when they get in makeup, the makeup industry is huge. So the point we're trying to make here is that they're talking about, the fact that the food industry, e-commerce is going to be a big industry push for these different e-commerce stores or platforms. But it's also, if you're looking for a way to get into e-commerce, especially if you're in the local marketplace, man, you got to get to the place where you're now delivering locally to people through e-commerce in that way. So it's a wonderful opportunity for anyone who's a local place to take advantage of what's coming. And that, again, doesn't have to necessarily be about food. It's about, again, as Gary was explaining, it should be about your abilities to get people to order something consistently just through voice. What did you call it? Voice?
Conversational marketing. I believe that's what they call it.
Marketing. Yeah, that's very cool. I like that. Conversational marketing. So a lot of people are using Alexa already. And we're getting to the place where we don't have to go anywhere. If we look in our refrigerator or in our, like yesterday, I had to remind my wife as we were out shopping, we need toothpaste, but it was a conscious. Now you can just say, Alexa, or send me some Crest toothpaste. You may have to be very specific. It may even be that you get to the place where, okay, I go through a tube, and this is where the intellectual property, AI is going to start coming in. Alexa's going to get a sense of your pattern as to how much what size toothpaste you use, and then how often you're going through that toothpaste, and it's gonna say, "Hey, would you like to order some toothpaste today?" I don't have any doubts that's what's gonna happen, right? I mean, that's what's coming, in my opinion.
Yep.
So, of course, we're on Facebook Studio here for some reason. That's coming up, but forgive my bumped. I guess clicked on the wrong thing. Um, so that's what we're pretty much talking about: the growth of direct to consumer. Again, you got to get to a place where you are delivering something. And again, it doesn't have to be local. When it comes to food, of course, there's an opportunity there for you if you're in the food industry, and especially to a local market. But if you have something that you can ship, it's not something a produce that, like apples and carrots and things like that. But you have something that you can ship, like peanut butter, then definitely you want to get into the conversational marketing arena, which is definitely growing leaps and bounds. Um, let's see here.
I don't think it's just food though. I think almost anything can be done, right? Even if it's like supplements,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you could do that.
supplements. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like
we,
a toothpaste also is also something that you can leverage that.
you don't think toothpaste is? That what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I think you can. Yeah. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
really just limited to food.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, we talked about that being, makeup, a
Yeah.
brand of makeup. Um, so dig into this article too much, but of course, if you want to know more about this article and read it, you can go to our Facebook page and read more about this article. It gets into a lot of details here. Market reach is 340 billion USD. That's huge, really huge opportunity. Um, it's a report. It's not some out. It's not just a article. This is a full on report that we're tapping in here and going to be sharing here. So again, if you want this report, we'll have a good look at it. It's very short, um, but you can have a look at it. Just go to our Facebook page and have a look at it.
Yep.
And what else did we have a discussion about this morning? What else did you want to share with us?
Um, well, there's a few more articles here that I came across. Um, you want to talk about it now, or you want to talk about other news? Other news first.
Um, why don't we? Is it the demo we're going to talk about briefly?
No, it's not. This is
No.
the beauty one that you mentioned.
Okay, yeah. Let's bring that up, and then I have one other article that I want to share, and then we'll jump into the demo. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
this
All
is
right. Here's
the beauty one that is that they are leveraging on direct to consumer, and basically they were just pointing out um, what are the challenges and what are the benefits of selling direct to consumer. So if that's something that you're considering selling direct to consumer, definitely go and check out this article.
So it's basically the pros and cons.
Yeah, it's pros and cons.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
what's the date on this article?
September the 4th. So just
When?
a couple days ago.
September 4th. Oh, so it's
Yep.
fairly new. So they're thinking the same way we were thinking, is that there's a great opportunity in startups like
Yeah,
how you
and
great D2C. Yeah.
yeah, and then this is also another article on direct to consumer, and he's talking. This is from the point of view of a parent that was looking for stroller. So she was going to the big box like baby stores, and she was trying around all those strollers, and she couldn't find one that she likes. And then until that she went to find those direct to consumer. And then, well, there is one that was near her um, near her place. So there is like a showroom where you can go and try it out. But she was also saying that, hey, like something like a stroller is something that you actually need to try out for to know whether it's suitable or not, right? So how those direct to consumer brands, so stroller brands, they are doing is they give you like a 30-day trial period, and this other brand here is doing a 100-day trial period. So those are some ways that direct to consumer brands are going about with those challenges where people actually need to try out your things first. So I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So is that kind of their strategic advantage, like what's distinguished? Because strollers are very, that's a competitive market for sure.
Yeah.
But being able to, kind of like how Tin Grove, would give you quality at a lower price because we're the manufacturers, and they show the whole process. So what you kind of explain is that their advantage, if you will, kind of why choose us? Here's our story.
Um, for this article doesn't really talk about that. Well, the upsides here, I think they do. I think they say that there are price. Well, I think it's the other article. The previous article about the beauty is the one that talk about there are price advantages because um, basically you're saving on the retail markup.
Yeah, you're cutting out the middleman. That's D2C, period. I mean, that's really the model.
Yeah, there are less middlemen, so less markups that way, and
Yeah,
you are in full control of the entire process.
yeah,
And whatever your customer is saying, those feedback you also get to know that. So those are
yeah,
those are the
yeah,
benefits.
yeah. Well, I hope that we can bring to people, especially if they're trying to get into this space, is how to find how they control the whole process from manufacturing to order fulfillment. And
Mhm.
that's maybe like, for instance, again going back to Tin Grove, they they have a manufacturer that they work with in Italy, but then that's just the raw material.
Yeah,
And they have seamstress and all that, if you will. Their production is in Texas someplace.
yeah,
So they're in control of that whole process, even though the raw material, they don't go out and, they're not shearing sheep, even though I've seen companies that, know, they've done
I
that.
mean,
They have,
it's gonna be difficult to scale. I mean, if you're trying to do everything on your own, it's gonna be difficult to scale up.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's just a matter of finding the right flow, and that you're in control of
Yeah,
that flow. Like, this is our where our material comes from. This is how we make it, and
yep,
this is how we send it
exactly,
to you. Yeah. So
exactly. You can
again,
choose where the raw material is from. You don't have to make it yourself.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, we just want you to be aware of the fact that you know you can be D2C without, like anything. If you're CEO of a company, you're not, and you have 1,000 employees. You're not doing all the work yourself. You're just in control of the processes, um, and you have people in place to do certain aspects of it.
Mhm.
And don't confuse this with drop shipping. It's far from that. It's not that at all. That's what we want people to understand. There's a difference between being a drop shipper, which is the middleman, and being direct to consumer. How do you become direct to consumer? And if you are already, how do you then become an e-commerce store? And if you're an e-commerce store, then how do you become a storefront? Which is what we're seeing is the latest and greatest of what's happening with e-commerce or direct to consumer, right? Don't you have
Right.
an article on that that you wanted to share?
Yeah.
Let me share real quick my little thing here, and then we'll jump to that business model that we're discovering is the growing aspect of the direct to consumer. I think we talked about it last week. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, this the article I'm going to be sharing with you is kind of directly related to that and why. So hang on a second. So we're discovering that people are really appreciating of direct to consumer. That the model of customers are loving the direct to consumer business model, and the reason being is um, that they feel that you know that D2C is, of course, cutting out the middleman. But again, why they love it is, here's an example. Um, People like to see that whole process of how things are made behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
They're being able to, of course, give them a better price because of them cutting out the middleman. But the fact that they're sharing that story and that journey of the product in their hand, that's what people are really loving, that aspect of D2C. So, I always talk about, because I come from the area of doing video marketing. It was, more on the personal branding side for a long time, and it's still something that you should be doing. People want to know the person behind the brand, so you want to still continue to share who you are, share behind the scenes, share some of the character, and share some of the aspects of your business, like people in your business. Maybe they look like a couple, but maybe she's the owner and he works in the shop. You want to share the culture of your business, but at the same time, as you're sharing your culture, you're also sharing the product, and that eliminates that selling mentality. And as we know, no one wants to be sold. Again, this is why we get into this whole idea of helping you to understand about relationship building. You have to build a relationship with your audience these days. People, there's too many options out here. Your competition, I can guarantee you, they're thinking of different ways, and probably are. You probably aren't even aware of the fact that they're using video or some other means. That's why they're outpacing you, but they're not doing things conventionally. They guarantee you. If you don't know, here's one thing I can tell you that um, I appreciate about Gary Vee. He says he doesn't know anything about his competition. And it's the same thing with Elon Musk. A number of these people who are doing the best aren't trying to outpace their competition. They're not really focusing on their competition. They're doing their own thing. They're learning how to engage their audience. They're spending more time focusing on their audience instead of how can they take from their competition. Okay. So we're telling you the best way to get in front of your audience is going to be create relationships. Best way to create relationships is going to be clearly through video, and sharing your culture, sharing yourself. All right. So that's what people are liking. They're liking that behind the scenes, how are things done, who you are, and what you stand for. One of the things I love most about being an entrepreneur is a why. You have to have a why. And that why usually ends up being some philanthropic endeavor that you contribute monies to. Someone can buy us the same product for $20, or they can buy it from you for $50 because you contribute 50% of your proceeds to some worldly, earthly cause. People buy that they want to, especially millennials. They want to contribute to something. They want to be a part of something, some movement, something that you, as your company, are adding to value to the planet or to human life. So what is your why? What is your why is so important these days. And that's what this article really is explaining is, share with people your whole business behind the scenes, as they call it, the transparency of your business right here. Exactly. Consumers loving the transparency and simplicity that comes along with direct to consumer brands. That is so key right there, folks. Okay. All right, enough ranting. Let me jump out of here. What do we have next, Vincent?
Actually, the article I wanted to share is actually the same one as that. It's exactly the same. Yeah.
Well, let's hear it. I'm sure you could provide some additional insight. So there's another brand, and we want to give people examples, so there's no overlap. We want people to understand.
It's the same article. It's exactly the same article.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, but you selected something else. That Suitcase Factory. Okay, select one of the other
examples here. I just picked up one of the examples here.
Yeah. So
which is which is this luggage company, which
Okay,
is
yeah,
direct to consumer, and they are not just selling online. They actually have physical stores in US and also in UK as well. It's
yeah.
pretty interesting, and what and
Well, they have storefronts as well.
yeah, so there is a pretty nice site, and what I like about it is also they share the story here. So
Yeah.
let's go and check out the story. And I think just like you mentioned that like this direct to consumer brands, they like to share the story. I think that really what separates those helps them to stand out from other
Yeah.
just normal e-commerce stores.
Yeah. Well, it's more than story. It's more about that transparency. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Showing the whole product journey and behind the scenes, that culture.
Mm-hmm. This is what they believe in, like those you're saying some of the non-profit that they are working with, and yeah, basically, and how they make their the suitcases. And here's the picture of the markup. Basically, you're saving all on this retailer markup. There's
Yeah.
much less
It's a
markup
nice,
there.
it's a nice
And I
stat.
also like this. They're sharing their team, and on their team like is like away in some place. It's yeah.
That's cool. I like that. Very lifestyle focused team. That
Yep.
I like this perspective of it. I like this a lot. Sharing your team in the different parts of the world, just being people. Awesome.
Hmm.
I love it. Love
Yep.
that. Let's look at their Instagram, shall we? I want to see that they do some video or something, sharing some culture. I mean, I love, obviously the pictures are amazing, but I really like to see people digging deeper into their culture.
Hmm.
That's fun.
Well, I don't see any videos though. They're all
Yeah.
images.
How about let's look at their, um, they don't have any stories.
Well, well, basically they're launching a new color something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what needs to stand out really is what does their profile say? What
The
that really
profile
should be inside their
thoughtful standards
Instagram.
for modern travel.
What does it say?
Thoughtful standards for modern travel.
Hmm. So that's what they really need to say something that makes people say, okay, that's different. You know, suitcase industry it's got to be more about color. I mean, it's nice color and probably good quality, but those are features. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Could dig just a little deeper. Pretty decent follower count there. How many followers do they have?
500,000.
Yeah, so alrighty. So are you going to do a case on them?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. While you're getting that set up, let me talk briefly about our relationship building funnel tool that we have. And this is a relationship building template that we have for you. And as we continue to share with you how to go from, as you can see in our little kind of branding at the top right there, there's a from A to B kind of thing there that we share with you. So that's what we really want you to get the idea about, that with this template, we are able to take you from point A to point B. Oops. And that means helping you understand have a full understanding of your funnel, and that is firstly understanding what your relationships are like. If you're tapping into the right people, your audience, as you can see, making sure that you're hitting the right sweet spot for your with your audience there. That's what the first mistake a lot of people make is that they will buy leads or set up some sort of you know uh, ad inside of Ads Manager and looking at interest, but they really don't have a real sense of who their audience is. So that's the one thing that we help you with first. And then, of course, as you can see, and this is foundational stuff we're talking about here. Your messaging has to be on point, and then we have to make sure that it's the product that your audience is looking for and wants. How's it producing? All that kind of good stuff. We do an assessment and make sure all that foundational stuff is in place for you and ready to go, so that you can then take it to understanding that relationship, as you see in that middle section, building upon that relationship. And then, of course, once you have these first two tiers or levels completed and efficient, then you're able to move on to the next level, which is then your product ecosystem. And that is then once you introduce a complementary product, you know your numbers, you know how it's going to perform, and you can actually pre-sell that because you have an audience of people that are interested in your product and have trust in your business, and you can introduce that product to them well ahead in advance and start collecting those, you know, those not just dollars, but also those testimonials, which is going to help you with selling. So this is our entire process, something we want to help you to get done, to do with your e-commerce store and storefront. And if that's something you'd like for us to have a conversation with us about, and that's all we really are looking to do is help you with getting this going, have a conversation, give you some good tips, help you get going. All this is at no cost, of course. And again, we just want to be able to say, hey, this is how this works. This is how we can help you get started. And you tell us if it works for you or not. We in 1 week, 2 weeks time, we're able to get you results based on where you're stuck. Based on this funnel, it's very intense. We try and share in these videos different aspects of how to get that done, where you're stuck at, how to move forward. Again, starting with making sure you have the right audience and tapping into them. So with that said, appreciate you jumping in on us again. And again, if you want this, just type inside of our Facebook page or direct message us the keyword template, and we'll get that right out to you. All right. So that's about our little template. So now we're going to jump into, kind of did a quick store critique already, didn't you? Store speed critique. We did that already. So just if you would kind of summarize the store again briefly. I'm sorry, you're already in this model here. So
basically this is direct to consumer store selling luggage for travel, and basically is a pretty nice site, pretty clean. And the interesting thing here is that they also have a storefront. I think that's what's interesting for me. Because I mean, if you think about direct to consumer, usually I just think of it as just an e-commerce. We only selling online.
Yeah. So we're seeing that again as the business model of the D2C. You're not just an e-commerce store, but you have a storefront. And it's something that we're seeing even Amazon doing, where you can pop in on their store and walk in and walk out. And when you walk in, you use your phone, you scan, put stuff in the basket. When you walk out, then you're charged. So Amazon is going to the storefront model, and it seems to be to us that is the D2C model. You're not just an e-commerce store, but the best model is to also have a storefront. So with that, the next step, once you have a website, you have those conversations. You got to start those conversations, right, Vincent?
Exactly, and that's where some sort of a live chat on your website can work, or also on Messenger. And Messenger is what we're going to be talking about here. And the Facebook, they just recently launched something new in the Ads Manager, and that is called this thing called Generate Leads. So we're going to be demoing that. So how this can be useful is what this does actually is this attaches to your Messenger, and it also attaches to the Facebook ad that you're running. So when somebody clicks on your ad, they will be brought into your Messenger, and then these are like some sequence of questions that you can ask them. So in previous weeks, we have been talking about using using quizzes, and we have been building that in ManyChat. So Facebook just launched this, so let's go and take a look at what Facebook actually created here. So the ad creation is the same. Basically, you create a campaign and an ad set. And so, for example, what this away company they can do is perhaps like a retargeting campaign that they do. They can ask to attract the attention is to ask engaging question. For example, hey, are you planning a trip sometime soon? For example, and then if they click on it, then we are going to ask them like a series of questions inside the Messenger. So how you set up here is go to Messenger setup and then click on this thing called Generate Leads, and then create chat. So let's go into this. So how this thing works is we ask them a question, and then there are some answers that we can give them. So here, for example, so we can get to know you better. So here are some questions that you can ask. Like you can ask for a city, you can ask for like the gender, phone number, zip code, state, country. There's so many information that Facebook already has information on that customer, so that they don't have to be typing in. All they need to do is, if you see on the right here, they will have this prompt. And let's say I'm in Jakarta now, so when I click on this, it will when I'm in this view, it will say Jakarta, and then I just need to tap it. I don't even need to type it. So what would be a question that we can ask someone that is interested in traveling? So we can ask like what were we going to ask? The one about whether they're going on vacation or a business trip. How would you ask that question?
Yeah, simple like, hey, are you going on a trip? Something simple, something that would get people to just answer a quick question that's non-invasive, non-intrusive, simple, something to get them to engage. So something simple. It's really important to get people to feel like, oh, I'm just having a conversation with a friend. So it could be as simple as, hey, are you getting ready to go on a trip? And then you can dig a little deeper, and get people to feel comfortable with engaging with your bot.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to use that. Are you getting ready to go on a trip? So then what you do here is that you click on go to and go to next question. So other options other than next question is a thank you message or disqualify. So this is like qualifying them, basically just qualifying them whether they're actually a good fit for you or not. And then after that next question, we go to the next question. How soon are you? How soon will you be leaving, for example? Then we can ask, you can say, for 1 week, less than a month, 2 months or longer.
You know what? This is all text, but are you able to put any kind of images or anything else
You
inside of
can
this?
you can add images here at the start and at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is kind of limited on what Facebook provides here. That's why uh, definitely still recommend things like ManyChat. But
Hmm.
here we're just showing what this new thing that Facebook has just created. So it is pretty basic on what you can do. And then, for example, here we can say let's say that this is the last question, and we can just say so thank you. Yeah. So let's say here, right? When you say they are not going on a trip, maybe no, then but we might want to ask them a different question. So here
Yeah.
we are not able to do that. So that's
Uh,
it's either a thank you message or disqualify. So for now, let's just put disqualify. And then
yeah.
after that, all you have to do is see here the thank you message is here. Thank you for answering your questions. Maybe we'll say like here's a discount code.
And really, this is like the second step of building a funnel, because the first thing you want people to do is engage inside of your website with the messenger bot. You want to ask a question there. And then once they become a part of your funnel, then you can then say to them, hey, we noticed you're getting ready to go on a trip. Is it, what's your favorite color? You
Mm-hmm.
know, what color are you looking for? So this is the
Yeah.
second step of building upon that relationship that began inside your website with asking them a very simple question.
Yeah.
This is a retargeting ad, right?
Yes. This is we're creating this as a retargeting ad. And so, I mean, Facebook created this, and it is quite interesting. But I would still definitely prefer to use ManyChat because ManyChat is definitely more customizable,
Yeah.
and you can direct the conversation better.
Is this the ad that goes directly into a messenger? Then is this like a quick, or how
No,
does
this
this
is
work?
you still need to click on this, and then it goes into Messenger
Okay, so they will see this ad. Will they see it inside a messenger or on their feed?
on their feed.
Okay.
On their feed. So when they click on the ad on the feed, then
Mhm.
this sequence of questions is being asked.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's like the ManyChat flow.
does it let you create, or the initial ad, can it be a video, quick clip video?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah,
it
of course
just
you can.
good?
Yeah.
Good.
And then here you need to have a privacy policy page here, which I don't have one prepared yet, so I can't
Okay.
I cannot create this. But if we go
Okay.
ahead and preview this in Messenger, I think we can preview in Messenger. Let's see Messenger. Is it not coming up? I think it's not coming up.
Mm. Oh yeah, I see it. No. Well, preview
No.
again.
Eh, oh, wait, no, it's not coming up. Somehow preview is not coming up. I probably need yeah, I need a privacy policy which I don't have.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably so. All right. Well, we can show a little bit more of this next time, I guess.
No,
Or
I mean this is just an overview. I don't think it's really that useful. I would still definitely
then,
prefer to use ManyChat, which is more powerful to create those conversations.
yeah, simple something.
Hmm. Well, I mean
And I'm
this is definitely well, Facebook created this for a reason, right? So it's definitely something that they think that Messenger is useful for, is to ask these
yeah,
kind of questions.
yeah. That they probably will build upon this um,
Yeah.
process. It's
It might get more complex later on, or maybe that's how they're gonna pixel people. Maybe,
yeah,
well, no, yeah. At this moment, Messenger is still very new, and they're still constantly developing it.
yeah. Well, I know because I work for a software company, I used to write code a long time ago. When you get to this scale of business and software, it's hard not to break stuff. So you have to add stuff very slowly because you create a little hole, and the next thing hackers are all over it and exploiting it.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
have to do it slow. That's the problem with having a billion-dollar code popular software is something breaks all the time. So they have to go real slow with these things. Real cool. I like that. Something to look into. If you're not in a place where you want to be a bot builder per se, and you want to try out something, you don't want to run an ad. And if you're not running ads, you're in the wrong place, wrong business. It's kind of like opening a storefront but not advertising. You,
Mhm.
and that advertising for a lot of people
I
just
think
standing out in the street.
I got another analogy for you. I think it's like you're owning a Ferrari, but like maybe your wife tells you, hey, let's go and take out the Ferrari, but say I don't wanna we're not gonna take the Ferrari. I don't wanna pay for the gas.
Yeah, let's just have two sit in it. So yeah, you certainly want to make sure that you're prepared. You have to have the whole. You can't just buy a Ferrari. You can't buy gas. That's
Yeah.
you think the showroom. Unless it's a showroom piece, but it's not why most people want to buy a Ferrari. They want to get out and drive it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, well, good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing how that can work um, in coming months or weeks. So, all right, so I'm sure that's going to tie in some way with um, the messenger pixeling.
Yeah,
Eventually,
that
that
should be coming up sometime soon as well, and that will be very interesting.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. Um, all right, so let's move on to this is the last little bit we want to share with you. And um, if you don't know about Creator Studio, it is really, in my opinion, going to make a big difference for content creation because it allows you to, firstly, schedule content. Now, I've said in the past couple shows I was going to share with you how you can schedule based on when your audience is online. Um, I'm not going to share that today because I want to kind of have a full kind of build up to that process. Right now, I just want to share with you the fundamentals of the Creative Studio so that you start using it. Because I think the bottleneck for everyone is they don't have the time to schedule content. So when you get into the place where you're at least creating content, and this may sound absurd, but again, listening to Gary Vee, he suggests that every brand should be putting out at least 100 pieces of content per day. Now, it may sound absurd to you, but the fact of the matter is that you can create. Yesterday, he put up a post. He asked a question on Twitter, just a quick versus it couldn't have been more than 3 words, I believe. He asked a question. What was it? Passive income, true or false? Okay, that's simple. Okay, it was a perfect example of how inside of Twitter he can get a kind of a poll kind of question going on. And when I found it, when I saw it, it was only like maybe 10 people. I bet if you go back now that have responded, there are probably 1,000 people that have responded to that. So here, my point is that we know the number one and number two platforms for creating content on is going to be, or where we're focusing anyways, is Facebook and Instagram. And of course, there are other platforms you should give attention to, but if you can see this, I just posted to this platform one of the articles that we shared and scheduled it. I think that schedule was already gone, posted already. So go back here to all posts. I want today just kind of want to give you a different overview of the posts that I've been posting. You've already seen the schedule of those posts, and basically it gives you an overview of all of your different pages that you have or managing, whatever your situation may be. But this is what I want you to understand is that here you can schedule posts inside of Facebook and Instagram. All right, and you can then have this content library. So the things that are posting well, and you can see we're live here. That's one of the posts that you can see. Is the post from, interesting. I'm trying to find the post that I posted this morning on here. For some reason not showing, but at any rate, let's see here. The point I'm trying to make is that you want to get to the place where you're posting content obsessively, and it's a numbers game for sure, especially if you're not running ads. And when you get to the place where you find something that works, then you want to create an ad out of that. You want to create that audience. You want to run ads to them, but it's based on content that you've created or clipped. I like to use Instagram stories for my quick clips because they're spontaneous, they're quick. I don't have to worry about creating any content about them, and then I can use them for my quick clips as an ad inside of Facebook and inside of especially inside of Instagram stories, where a lot of people are spending more time. So I just wanted to share with you briefly your content library, and that's where I'm at right now. You can see the content library that I am. You can see how many likes that have received in different posts. And this is basically showing the posts from our D2C brand. So we're just getting started with that. So our reach is very minimal right now because we're a small audience. But the idea is you want to see what's working, and then you can repost any one of these later on if you want. So when you find things are working, you want to have a calendar or something else. You want to have a content calendar. You want to have a different mix of different things you want to share on a daily basis. But the main thing is don't be afraid to get in front of the camera or take a snapshot and just share. You have to. It's so essential to your business right now and forever, quite honestly, to be able to do this. So I just again wanted to share with you the content library, different posts that you can do. Of course, again, we talked about scheduling here, but again, these are always going to be here for you to reshare. Once you see a post is doing really well, you can repost it from here, and then you can also boost it from here as well. So we'll get into all that stuff. As you can see, carousel stories, IGTV, and that's another thing that you can be doing. Like this video that we're doing right now, it'd be very simple for me or for us to share this as an IGTV post, and then that IGTV post can have a preview on your landing page. I think we have a couple of examples here that are IGTV posts. I believe this one probably is. And here's the cool thing. You see that content in there. In that content, I'm actually able to put not just hashtags, but longer text, which a lot of people are now using Instagram now for a blog anyways. But the point is that inside this IGTV post, I'm able to put a link inside there and I can't show it to you here unless I go to the post itself. Let me see what happens. Yeah, so in this post, if I click on more, there is where's that link? I know I have a link in here. Maybe this isn't the IGTV. But anyways, one of my point is that inside IGTV, you can put a link inside that post, along with some long-winded kind of overview as you just saw in that post. So again, just wanted to share the library with you. This is very intense, but it's different than it basically is for content creators, which everyone needs to be right now. You can schedule things, and we're going to dig more into this as we go. But the more important thing is, you got to create posts, and it's also important to know when to post. And that means you need to be able to post when people, your audience is online. Again, I'm going to share that with you in the coming weeks. But I wanted to just kind of give you a fuller understanding of how this Facebook Creator Studio works, and start using it. And if you have any questions, be sure to just, I'm sure YouTube we're posting this up on YouTube, and it's on our Facebook page and other platforms we're live on right now. I think we're live on 5 different streaming platforms right now. Just do a quick Google search or a search for, especially inside of Facebook, for Facebook Creator Studio, and you can learn more about it and start posting content. Just posting, just share, just continue to just get your content up there and share it, and watch what happens. I guarantee you're going to get results. So thank you. So I think that's it for today. Yeah, just over an hour. We did well. Yep. Good stuff today. Again, we want to invite you to downloading our template. Is something that, again, is designed to help you with going from point A to point B, and that is, again, it's a free something we give to you, but we definitely want to have a conversation with you, see if we can help you to figure out where your holes are. That's it. We don't want to we're not trying to sell anything. We just want to help you, and we want to have conversations, just getting started too. So again, you could find us at D2C. Keyword template on that, and you can download that in our messenger bot. Just go to our Facebook page, D2C.com. So I keep saying that, D2C Ecom, and send a message template, or you can go inside of our Instagram, send a quick message, and you'll get that template delivered right directly to you. So that's it for today. Got anything else you want to share with us, Vincent, before we bounce out of here?
No. Over love.
Yeah, enough for today, huh?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
A lot of news, a lot of articles that talking about direct to consumer recently.
Yeah, it's definitely where people need to be putting their mindset right now is D2C. Again, a lot of things going on in the world that's called opportunity. And we hope that you take advantage of it and us to help you to grow your direct-to-consumer business. So again, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time. You could have spent it anytime and anywhere, but you chose to be with us today. I hope that you got a lot of value out of it. And again, I am Sandy saying ciao from Brazil.
See ya from Indonesia. See you guys next week.